Hood fam? It's Mr. Kelly with Good to the Hood, talking about anything and everything that impacts the culture. And today I kind of want to do a review and see if we can't extrapolate some things from the slap heard around the world. It's still going on. It's about week 4 right now. And going on in the sense of what's going to happen now with lawsuits and all the stuff that's transpired. But I want to put that aside and really delve into what can we take away from this situation. Is there anything positive that we can take away from this situation? And I think there is. I think there's a couple things that we can take away from it. So I'm just going to talk about some of the individuals that basically were involved in it. And we'll start off at the top, the obvious, Will Smith. So what can we take away from this whole situation with Will Smith? Well, Will, you have to be held accountable. And I think we all need to be mindful that, sure, you can, regardless of how you feel about it, was he defending her honor? Was he out of line? Whatever the case may be. Regardless, I think what we can take away from this is we are held accountable for our actions. Justified or not, we're held accountable for our actions. Will committed this act, and the fallout is a lawsuit, no longer part of the Academy. If not lost, at least shelved some of his deals as far as movies are concerned. So really, and there's more to it, which I've discussed before, but ultimately what I want to say is you got to be accountable for your actions. Now, Will, if you've been following this closely and seeing what's been posted on his social media, as well as other posting and shows and that kind of thing, is he's definitely remorseful. He's cried a lot. And there's definitely some emotional pain and trauma that pushed him to that point. So the other thing we can take away is take care of your mental health. Take care of your mental health, whatever that means. If you need to be on medication, then just do that. If you need to go to therapy, if you need to meditate and pray more and get your life and mind right with God, you need to do that. But most importantly, we need to remove ourselves from toxic environments and toxic relationships. Just because you want something doesn't mean that it's gonna happen. It's that simple. I think Will really wants and still wants and wanted a healthy relationship, a good marriage, a good family, so on and so forth. But he acted out also because he was trying to prove something to her and show that he was this man and this protector and all this other kind of stuff, right? And there's a time and place for all that. But that just wasn't the time nor the place, and here we are, right? But you can't force goodness in a relationship if it ain't there. Jada has gone on recently and has said that she didn't want him to do that, and that she still has feelings for Tupac, and she thought he would always be here, and this, that, and the other. We've all seen it where she talked about this so much to where her daughter Willow wrote a letter to Tupac to come back so that mommy will be happy. So the takeaway from Jada is to be fair, I guess, and honest. Let me take that back. She may not have been fair, but I think Jada was honest. I mean, as much as we've seen on social media how direct she's been and has told Will what she wants, what she expects, and all of this, I guess she was honest. So one of the things I guess we could take from this thing is, I guess, a saying from Maya Angelou. And she says, when people show you who they are, believe them. So Will, Jada not only showed you, she told you who she was. Believe her, brother. Roll out. Roll out. The kids is grown now. You know what I mean? Get some help. Roll out. Get somebody that's not going to put so much unnecessary pressure on you. And he puts unnecessary pressure on himself, right? But this is crazy. Check out some of those videos if you guys feel I'm being out of line. She straight up said that Will didn't do it for her. Sexually, emotionally, friendship-wise, the whole shebang. So brother, let it go. So in that same breath, Jada, you were honest, but you know what we can take away from this? If you don't want to be with somebody and they don't fulfill you and something was missing and so on and so forth, then roll out. Don't stay in the situation if you're not happy there. Just don't. You know what I mean? But I think she had ulterior motives. That's my 2 cents. You know what I mean? Like she's not a A-list actress. She don't have any awards. She's known for being Will Smith's wife. So, you know, we can also take away from that. 1, don't use people. And 2, don't allow yourself to get used. Now, what can we take away from Chris Rock? Hey, Chris Rock might have the best takeaways in this whole situation. Chris Rock is super mature, super professional, but even bigger than that, or at least as big, we'll say, is the fact that he was able and had the ability to think quickly and correctly and civilly in a pinch. I mean, he got smacked in front of millions of people, right? Hundreds in that venue, but millions around the world. And he was getting ready to say something, and he was thinking about striking back. We saw the fist ball up, but he held back and kept it together. And although he kept it professional, you know what? I don't think the lawsuit was a brand new thought process. I think he was up there and when he's like, oh, I could, right? When he said that and did that, I think somewhere in the back of his mind, he was like, I'm about to sue the pants off this dude. So you know what? Keep it together. Keep it together is the takeaway. Chris Rock, again, kudos to you. My respect for you has gone up. So that's a takeaway from that. Like, embrace that maturity. Embrace that next level of grown manness, right? And that's a takeaway from that. Who else was kind of involved in this? Tony Rock, right? Again, Tony Rock, the same rules apply to Tony Rock as they do to Will, in the sense of you have to be accountable for your actions. However, Tony Rock, I applaud him too, because immediately he went and said, I got my brother's back. I don't take too kindly to the disrespect. Will, we're going to have to throw hands, blah, 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 whatever. But I believe he's full aware of what he was saying and the consequences potentially that could come from that. So if you are going to act in a certain way, right? See, Will didn't think when he went up there and smacked Chris, right? He let his emotions and some other stuff get the best of him, made a decision that he probably regrets now, and acted on it. Tony Rock arguably is making a reckless decision also, but Tony Rock is thinking about it, and I know he's full aware of the consequences. In fact, when he said it, he says, you may never see me in a movie again, and I don't really care because I ain't got that much to lose, right? So he's full aware. He's willing to take it to the limit and let the chips fall where they may. But at least he thought about it, and he's willing to go ahead and let it be what it is. Since my last video, Kenny Rock, who is the younger brother also, younger than both Tony and Chris, Kenny Rock's 42, he recently went to TMZ and said that he would like to just go ahead and get in the ring, make it a little bit more official, get in the ring and box with Will Smith. You know, and a lot of us, and I was originally guilty of this and thought, hey, you know, Will Smith got hands though, because, you know, he was in Ali and whatever. If he didn't stay up on all that, you don't use it, you lose it. So maybe Will ain't got the hands that we think he has. But you know what? Even if he does, if you got to get your ass whooped defending your family member, their brother in this situation, then so be it, since it's already crossed that physical line. See, Will made it a physical situation when it wasn't. It was just words, right? And then he made it a physical deal. So, okay, if you're going to start slapping people's brothers around, then maybe we should start doing a little smacking of our own. So I get it. And these are decisions that they're making. And whatever happens with that happens. Outside of those individuals, what else can we take away from this whole ordeal? Well, I think another individual that we need to look at is Denzel Washington. Now, he had nothing to do with any of the smacking or any of that. But you know what Denzel did? And he did something I think more of us in the culture need to do, is when one of us is caught up in some type of unfortunate situation or acts out recklessly, Denzel went, spoke to Will during the break, spoke to Will Smith, prayed with him, gave him some words of encouragement, and so on and so forth. And I think a lot of us need to do that more so in the culture. Maybe you can't do more than that, and maybe that person still has the consequences they got to deal with, but at least let them know, like, hey, what you did was kind of inappropriate. I get it. I want you to get help. I'm here for you if you need a shoulder to cry on, if you need to pray, if you need somebody to talk to, if you need to hear it from a different perspective, whatever. So kudos to Denzel on that. In fact, before all this occurred, there was a video I made quite some time ago about Eddie Murphy, right? And it's like, give them their flowers. And I was going to start picking people within the culture that I wanted to give them their flowers now while they're living. And I made that video quite some time ago. And I had a whole list of people that I was going to give their flowers to. Will Smith was one of those. And I actually had done some research on him because I really wanted to go through some of his accolades. Look, I, like Sony and Netflix, are shelving that. But Denzel was one that I really, really wanted to do. And I didn't start it yet because there's a lot that Denzel has done. And I'm really a fan of Denzel Washington for sure. But I'll probably go ahead and start doing that one and post that. So a little bit off track. But look, the other thing to extrapolate for sure is let's be more Chris Rock-like in the sense of how we respond to situations. And let's be more like Denzel when we see situations that occur. Even if it doesn't directly impact us, let's go ahead and be a part of it intentionally to help somebody that may need it. I think that could help us tremendously in the culture, because a lot of the culture has been built on negativity, and we really applaud when one of us acts a fool. And maybe sometimes it is funny, but we got to realize that has long outreach impacts. And so let's just be a little bit kinder, a little nicer, a little bit more positive for those of us that are still in the culture and really care about this thing, right? So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. And until next time, this is Mr. Kelly with Good to the Hood. Peace.